Hey everyone, welcome to another review. Welcome to my review for the movie Leave the World Behind. Leave the World Behind stars Julia Roberts, Ethan Hawke, Mahershala Ali, and Kevin Bacon. And the movie is directed by Sam Esmail. And the story is like I guess, end of the world disaster movie. It's about this family in Long Island. They live in the middle of nowhere in the woods. Then they get a knock on the door. There's two strangers. This father daughter, and they're saying the world has gone blackout. The world is becoming destruction. The army is bombing everywhere. Technology's not working. The Teslas are thinking for themselves, and the animals are turning against us. It's almost kind of like a end of the world kind of movie, and these families in this house trying to figure out what's going on and how to survive and stuff. It seemed interesting because movies like this can be very, very interesting. A family, together. They kind of did this already in the beginning of this year with, what was that cabin movie, Knock at the Cabin or something, the Shyamalan movie. So kind of already had an end of the world kind of movie with strangers in a house, but there's this one. At least with the Shyamalan movie, there was some good stuff in it. I still didn't really care for it, but there was decent stuff in that movie. This movie I hated. I absolutely fucking despised this movie. Couldn't stand it. I hated these characters. I hated where they went with it. There are good stuff in it, but this is a great example of how to make a very uninteresting movie that can be very interesting. The ideas are there. The premise is there. It's just the writer and the director just do nothing with it. The movie is produced by the Obamas, too, Michelle and Barack Obama, and you can kind of tell there's some messaging, political messaging. It's very subtle, but there's a lot of things about capitalism and racism and Teslas. I think it was almost like a knock at Elon Musk and stuff. There's a lot of heavy political messaging in this movie, and every time I caught up on it, I rolled my eyes. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing, okay. But that's beside the point. Is the movie good? I don't fucking think so. I think it's a very uninteresting story. Even though the idea is a very interesting idea, it's just not executed interestingly. The shots are very well done. I think all the credit should go to the cinematographer, how he does the shots, the overlapping shots, the head shots, the overlapping shots. Some of them are really cool, well put together, comprised cinematography shots. It's just the direction is so stiff and the writing is just so bland and uninteresting and unlikable. The whole movie you're spending with these characters and you hate every character pretty much in this movie. They're either boring as fuck or super unlikable, especially Julia Roberts. Julia Roberts was the worst person in this movie. Her acting was shit, and her character was a scumbag. Ethan Hawke was also such a loser character. I fucking couldn't stand his character. Mahershala Ali is also he's a very unlikable character at moments, and he's also really dumb in a lot of moments too. I'm like, what are you doing? Ethan Hawke, Julia Roberts, and Mahershala Ali are all very talented people, and I don't know what they were doing, and I don't know why they accepted roles like this. This movie does not shine their talents, really. It's basically the opposite of that. The kids were all annoying. Kevin Bacon is definitely supposed to be the more unlikable character. I think Kevin Bacon's the only one that really gives a strong performance. I think he was the best in this movie. Even though he is almost supposed to be kind of like a satire of right-wing Republicans and stuff. And I know they were trying to make him seem like the bad guy in the movie, but I'm just talking about acting-wise, not character-wise, because I was not a fan of his character, but he gave the only good performance in this movie. Because the direction is so shit, none of these actors could shine with this lame-ass script and shitty-ass director. And it builds to nothing. There's so much ideas that they talk about, but they don't deliver any of them. And there's just a lot of nothing. And I know this movie is trying to be so symbolic. I'm just like, look at that. That means what this means, what that. I know what the movie's saying. It's not it's not hard to get what the like. I know there's gonna be people who love this movie. Like, you just didn't get it. It's a very smart intellectual film. It went over your head. No, it didn't. It's so obvious what this movie is saying about the world and society and technology and all that. This has all been done before in movies. Just it's how you do it and how you do the messaging, how you execute it, and how you structure it within the plot and to connect with the characters that we're seeing on screen. And it doesn't do any of that well. Fuck this movie. Like, this movie was just shit. And it's so long. It's 2.5 hours. And it easily could have been like an hour and 45 minutes. Like, it's silly. It's like, and it's marketed to be this, like, very suspenseful horror kind of movie. It's not. It's really not. It's supposed to be like, I think it's a dramatic character study. It's kind of like It Comes at Night. Remember that A24 movie, It Comes at Night? That was marketed as a horror movie, but really it was like more of a drama thriller. And when people saw that movie, they're like, what the fuck is this? Even though I actually didn't hate It Comes at Night, I didn't think it was that bad. It wasn't great, but it was just marketed poorly. This is the same. This is marketed as supposed to be like a very suspenseful thriller, and it really isn't. It's a dramatic character study about these families and, living together and trying to survive together. It's about the characters, even though the characters all suck. When you're making a movie about the characters, they better be compelling. They better be interesting. They better be talking about interesting things. Like, they're not. There's a lot of quiet moments, stupid conversations that we've heard a million times, and there's just a lot of just rehashed conversations. They talk about the same bullshit like 4 or 5 times in the movie, and just, I don't know. It's, I don't know. I didn't like it. I didn't really like this movie. I was just not getting on board with it. I know there's some people that are gonna dig the shit out of this. I know there's some reviews out there. People really dug it. They thought it was really great, atmospheric movie with great deep messaging. I'm like, sure, it's got messaging. I wouldn't call it deep, but it's got messaging, all right. I just was not on board with it. I liked the cinematography and I liked Kevin Bacon. That is it. Also, the ending was stupid. Like, really stupid. And I know everyone's trying to be like, well, the ending actually means this. I know what the ending means, and I know what it's stupid. It's really dumb. This movie is all build up and there's no payoff. It's kind of like I'm watching the new Godzilla show with Kurt Russell, and I think it's okay, but that's similar with that show. It's very build up with no payoff. Like it's supposed to be a Godzilla show, and it's like 5% Godzilla and 95% characters, and the characters are just not as interesting as characters in Godzilla -1. But I don't know why I'm talking about Godzilla now, but this movie is all build up and there's no payoff. And I know everyone's like, well, that's the point. That's so stupid if that's the point. If that's the point, that's dumb. Then why are you having build up to begin with? Like, just make a movie about the play No Exit or something. Just people in a room talking. But, like, no, you're building to something, and it's trying to be like, oh, it has, like, a twist or something. And there's no twist. Maybe Shyamalan should have directed this movie instead of Knock at the Cabin or something. I think Shyamalan probably could have done something a lot more interesting, at least, with this. Like, again, his movie at the beginning of this year, as much as I was not a huge fan of it, but at least it had memorable moments. It had an ending that you were talking about. It had interesting character moments. This movie has none of that. Like, none of that at all. So, I thought it was a waste of time. It's on Netflix now. Please don't check it out. Don't. I know a lot of people, like close friends of mine who are talking about this. They're like, what did I just watch? What kind of boring mumbo-jumbo bullshit was that? I don't know. Yeah, I don't recommend it. On a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give Leave the World Behind a 3 out of 10. Don't see it. So yeah, on the comment section below, please let me know what is the worst movie with all build and no payoff. Like, give me a great example of a movie that does that. Like, a movie is all building to something, and either the payoff is shit or the payoff is non-existent. Let me know some movies that do that. Comment below, let me know. And as always, if you like this video, please like, subscribe to this channel, and join the dark side.